Captain Alex Rayner stared out of the small viewport of his ship, the intrepid Voyager, as it descended through the vibrant clouds of Zerathia. The planet below shimmered with colors unlike any he had seen before. Violet rivers twisted through golden plains, and forests of towering, translucent trees swayed even though no wind seemed to touch them. Alex had spent years preparing for this mission, but nothing in his training could have prepared him for the first real look at an alien world. The human crew behind him worked quietly. Sensors beeped and screens flickered as the ship's landing sequence executed flawlessly. Alex took a deep breath, feeling the familiar mixture of excitement and nerves that came before any first contact. "All right," he said, voice steady but eager. "Let's see what Zerathia has in store for us." The landing zone was a smooth plateau, surrounded by crystalline rock formations that sparkled under the planet's twin suns. As the ship touched down, Alex grabbed his field kit and stepped out, the soft hum of the ship's energy field fading behind him. The air was breathable but carried a faint metallic tang. He activated his portable analyzer and began scanning the environment. Every reading was unusual: unfamiliar minerals, strange atmospheric particles, and signs of intelligent activity, though no beings were visible yet. Alex moved cautiously toward a cluster of alien structures in the distance. They looked like vast domes made of a material that shimmered like liquid glass. Patterns pulsed along their surfaces, almost as if the buildings were alive. He marveled at the technology. Humans had explored far and wide in the galaxy, but Zerathia's civilization seemed advanced in ways he had never imagined. As he approached, a voice echoed in his comms. "Captain, sensors are detecting movement inside the domes. Be careful." It was Lieutenant Mira Chen monitoring from the ship. "Understood," Alex replied. "Let's hope they're friendly." He paused at the entrance of one dome and studied the symbols etched into its surface. The patterns glowed faintly when he waved his hand over them. He felt a strange energy, like the building itself was observing him. A shiver ran down his spine. Inside the dome, the air shimmered with a soft light. The walls were translucent, revealing a lush interior filled with towering plants, flowing streams, and glowing creatures. It was like stepping into a dream. Alex walked carefully, his boots making soft contact with the strange, almost sponge-like floor. Suddenly, he noticed something partially buried near the center of the dome. It looked like an ancient device covered in dust and moss. Curious, Alex crouched and brushed it off. The artifact was small but intricate, made of a material he didn't recognize. Tiny lights pulsed along its surface and etched symbols glimmered faintly. He reached out and touched it. The moment his fingers made contact, a surge of energy shot through him. The air shimmered violently, and the plants around him began to rearrange themselves, almost like they were dancing to an invisible rhythm. Colors shifted, streams changed course, and flowers bloomed in patterns he had never seen before. Alex stumbled back, astonished. What just happened?" he muttered. He scanned the artifact, but it seemed dormant again, as if nothing had occurred. Yet the environment had changed, undeniably. Meanwhile, sensors in the ship picked up the disturbance. "Captain, we're detecting massive energy fluctuations. Something's affecting the entire biome," Mira's voice reported, calm but urgent. Alex realized the magnitude of what he had just done. It's alive," he whispered. "Or at least it responds to life in ways we don't understand." Before he could examine further, a voice boomed throughout the dome, deep and commanding. "Who dares disturb the sacred grounds of Zerathia?" Alex froze. The voice was neither male nor female, but carried a tone of authority and power that made him feel both small and important at the same time. From the shadows, a figure emerged, tall, elegant, with shimmering scales that reflected the light of the dome. Its eyes glowed with intelligence and curiosity, but also anger. I'm Captain Alex Rayner from Earth," he said carefully, raising his hands to show he meant no harm. "I come in peace. I didn't mean to disturb anything. This is just an exploration mission." The being tilted its head, regarding him closely. "You humans, you are unpredictable. Your touch has awakened something ancient, something even we have not dared to touch for centuries." Its voice resonated through Alex's chest, making him feel the weight of its words. Alex realized the truth. He had accidentally activated something the aliens considered sacred. He took a deep breath. "I didn't know. I'm sorry, can I help fix it?" The alien's gaze softened slightly. Help, perhaps? Or perhaps your interference will bring more chaos. You have introduced a human element into Zerathia, a force that cannot be controlled. Alex swallowed hard. He understood the gravity of the situation. This was no longer just exploration. It was first contact under extraordinary circumstances. He decided to proceed carefully. I can work with your scientists, he offered. We can study the effects together. I promise I only want to understand. The alien seemed to consider this. You speak boldly, human. Few would dare approach the alien queen directly and claim to offer cooperation. At that moment, Alex realized the presence of more beings entering the dome. They were the Zerathian Council, advisors to the alien queen. Each one looked different, yet all shared the same intelligence reflected in their eyes. They murmured among themselves, clearly debating what to do with this human intruder. Finally, the tallest among them stepped forward. You will stay, it declared. Not as a prisoner, but as an observer. Under our supervision. Your actions have changed our world. Whether for better or worse, only time will tell. Alex nodded, understanding that arguing would do no good. He was a guest under strict observation, in a civilization far more advanced than his own. Yet despite the tension, a spark of excitement grew inside him. This was the moment humans had dreamed of. First contact with an alien civilization, full of mystery and possibility. As he followed the Zerathian guides through the dome, he took in the sights and sounds of the living city. Plants shifted gracefully as they walked, streams redirected themselves to avoid their feet, and strange creatures peeked out of glowing foliage, curious but cautious. Alex could feel the intelligence of this world all around him. It was alive, aware, and reacting. He thought of the artifact he had touched. Somehow humans had left a mark here, unintentional but undeniable. And though the alien queen might be angry, he sensed that curiosity had won over outright hostility. At least for now. By the time they reached the central chamber, Alex realized he had entered a story that would be told for generations. One where humans and aliens might learn from each other. One small human mistake that could change the course of an entire civilization. He braced himself, ready to meet the alien queen leavinr and face whatever judgment awaited him. Inside the central chamber, he saw her at last, tall, majestic, with scales that glowed faintly in rhythm with the energy of the dome. Her eyes fixed on him with intensity. Human, she said, her voice resonating through the chamber. You have surprised me. Not with aggression, but with your unexpected touch upon our world. You will not leave Zerathia until I decide your fate. Alex swallowed. This was no longer a simple exploration mission. This was survival through understanding, through ingenuity, and through respect. And somehow, he knew that humans had the ability to rise to this challenge. Outside, the twin suns of Zerathia dipped lower in the sky, casting long, colorful shadows over the city. And for the first time, Alex felt the weight of human potential, not as conquerors but as explorers who could thrive even in worlds beyond their imagining. Captain Alex Raynor had never felt anything like the presence of Queen leavinr. Standing before her in the central chamber of the Zerathian palace, he could feel the energy of the planet pulsing through her, almost as if the planet itself spoke through her voice. Her tall, elegant frame shimmered with the colors of the dome, and her eyes glowed like twin stars full of intelligence, curiosity, and controlled fury. You have altered Zerathia with your touch, human, leavinr said, her voice deep and resonant, echoing through the chamber. Do you understand the magnitude of what you have done? Alex swallowed hard. I didn't mean to. It was an accident. I just touched a device and something happened. I didn't know it would affect your world. Leavinr's glowing scales flickered with irritation. You humans are unpredictable. You move without understanding, without thought. You awaken forces we have kept dormant for centuries. Alex took a careful step forward. I understand your anger, Your Majesty, but I am not here to harm you or your world. I only want to study and learn. If I cause disruption, I will help fix it. Leavinr's gaze pierced him. Fix it? You dare to claim that you can restore balance when your species cannot even understand the consequences of its own touch? Alex realized that reasoning alone would not be enough. He needed to demonstrate human ingenuity, the very thing the aliens had not yet recognized. Perhaps, he said, but humans have a gift for solving problems. Sometimes a fresh perspective can see solutions that others cannot. Let me help and you will see. The queen's eyes narrowed. Bold words, human. Few dare speak to me with such confidence. Few survive after such insolence. I do not seek to survive, Alex said steadily. I seek to cooperate. That is the human way, to face challenges and work together to overcome them. Lithra's expression softened slightly, though her voice remained firm. Humans are interesting. I do not yet know if you are dangerous or merely unpredictable. You will remain under observation. You will not leave Zerathia until I decide your fate. You will cooperate with my council and my scientists. Do you understand? Alex nodded. Yes, Your Majesty. I understand completely. The Queen motioned to one side of the chamber and a group of Zerathian advisors stepped forward. They were tall, graceful beings with translucent skin and bioluminescent patterns running along their limbs. Each one carried a device that pulsed with energy, recording every movement and sound. These are the scholars and protectors of Zerathia, Lithra said. They will guide you and judge your actions. Fail to comply and you will be removed from this world. Alex felt a mixture of awe and anxiety. Here he was, a human among a civilization far more advanced than his own, under the watchful eyes of beings who considered humans both curious and dangerous. Yet somewhere inside him he felt a spark of hope. Humans were not the strongest species nor the fastest, nor the most technologically advanced, but they were clever, adaptable, and resourceful. Captain Rayner, one of the scholars said, stepping forward. The device you touched is ancient. It was created by an early human expedition centuries ago, long before your kind became spacefaring. It contains knowledge and energy that our people have preserved but never fully understood. Alex's eyes widened. You mean humans were here before? Yes, the scholar replied. Your species left artifacts behind, seeds of knowledge. Your touch awakened one of these. That is why the ecosystem reacted so dramatically. Alex felt a thrill of excitement. Humans had left a mark on this world centuries ago unintentionally, and now he had activated it. Then maybe this is a chance, he said. A chance for humans and Zerathians to learn from each other. Lithra regarded him silently, as if weighing his words against some hidden measure. Perhaps, she said finally, perhaps your species can bring something new to Zerathia. Or perhaps you will bring chaos. Time will tell. The Queen stepped aside and Alex was led to a laboratory within the palace. The room was filled with strange plants, glowing crystals, and devices that pulsed with energy. Zerathian scientists moved gracefully, analyzing data streams and manipulating the environment with gestures alone. Alex could feel their intelligence. It was unlike anything humans had seen. Yet he also noticed rigidity. The Zerathians relied on precise patterns, on rules, on centuries of control. They had never encountered randomness or creativity on this scale. One of the scholars approached him. Human, if you truly wish to help, you must first understand our ecosystems. Every element is balanced. Every action has consequences. The device you activated altered this balance. I understand, Alex said. And I want to help restore it. And maybe improve it. The scholar raised an eyebrow. Improve it? That is bold, human. Our systems have thrived for centuries without your species. Do you believe you can do better? Alex smiled. Sometimes the unexpected perspective of a human mind can see solutions that others cannot. Let me show you. Over the next several hours, Alex walked through the laboratory examining the alien devices, plants, and energy flows. He noticed patterns the Zerathians had overlooked, small inefficiencies, places where the energy flow could be optimized, areas where the ecosystem could grow stronger. This stream here, Alex said, pointing to a glowing waterway, is being diverted in a rigid pattern. If we let it meander naturally, it will nourish more plants and create more habitats for wildlife. The scholar observed him closely. Interesting. Your suggestion follows logic, but it is unconventional. Zerathia values control over randomness. Sometimes, Alex said, a little unpredictability strengthens the system. That's what humans have learned over millennia. Lithra entered quietly, listening to the exchange. You are teaching them, human, she said. But be careful. Unchecked, your ideas could disrupt more than you intend. I understand, Your Majesty, Alex replied. But I also know that humans have a gift for solving problems. Together we can achieve something neither species could do alone. The Queen studied him for a long moment. Then she nodded slightly. Perhaps, but your place here is still under my observation. You will work with our scientists, yes, but you will answer to me. Alex agreed, though he felt a surge of determination. Humans had always faced challenges that seemed impossible. They adapted, learned, and grew stronger through cooperation and ingenuity. If he could show the Zarathians this, perhaps he could earn their trust and maybe even change the way they saw humans entirely. Over the next several days, Alex worked closely with the Zarathian scientists. He helped adjust energy flows, rearranged plant habitats, and introduced small, clever techniques to stabilize the ecosystems affected by the ancient device. Slowly, the aliens began to notice improvements. Streams ran clearer, plants grew more resilient, and the previously tense energy of the domes settled into harmony. Yet not all Zarathians were pleased. Some whispered among themselves, questioning whether humans could be trusted. They are clever, yes, one said, but their unpredictability could destroy centuries of careful control. Alex overheard some of these concerns. He didn't respond with arrogance. Instead, he continued working, showing through actions that humans could contribute without causing harm. His calm determination, curiosity, and ability to think creatively began to change minds. Finally, leavinr summoned him to the central chamber again. "Human," she said, her glowing eyes fixed on him. "You have demonstrated some skill and ingenuity. But tell me, why should I trust your species? You have altered our world without permission. You have introduced change without understanding. What makes humans worthy of our cooperation?" Alex took a deep breath. "Because, Your Majesty, humans learn from mistakes. We adapt, we create solutions where others see problems, and most importantly, we cooperate. I have no desire to conquer or dominate Zarathia. I want to help, to learn, and to build a bridge between our species. That is what humans do best." The Queen studied him in silence. The chamber was still, the energy of the planet pulsing faintly in the background. After a long pause, she spoke. "Bold words, human. Perhaps your species is more than I imagined. Perhaps your unpredictability is also a strength. I will allow you to continue your work, but under my eyes. Fail to prove yourself and you will leave Zarathia permanently." Alex bowed respectfully. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I will not fail." As he left the chamber, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. Humans might be small and fragile compared to the Zarathians, but they had something no alien species had: creativity, courage, and the ability to think beyond the rules. He knew the days ahead would be challenging, but he was ready. The days following his audience with Queen leavinr were unlike any Captain Alex Raynor had ever experienced. The central chamber, once a place of tension, had become a hub of activity. Zarathian scholars moved gracefully through the air, carrying glowing tools and analyzing data streams. Alex, human among aliens, moved carefully alongside them, learning their systems while quietly introducing small improvements. Every day brought new challenges. The ecosystems of Zarathia were delicate, finely balanced over centuries. Even minor disturbances could ripple through the entire biome. The device Alex had accidentally activated had left subtle imbalances. Some plants grew too rapidly, others struggled to survive, and streams had shifted unpredictably. The Zarathians had control over much, but they lacked flexibility. Alex noticed patterns they overlooked: natural variations, energy flows, and small inefficiencies that could be corrected without harming the balance. One morning, as the twin suns of Zarathia rose, casting violet light over the palace gardens, Alex stood over a patch of glowing vegetation. "This area," he said to a scholar named Virel, "is being dominated by one species. It's crowding others and blocking sunlight. If we redistribute them slightly, we can encourage diversity and make the ecosystem stronger." Virel observed thoughtfully, her translucent skin shimmering. "Humans act quickly. Yet, your idea has merit. We have not tried this approach because we fear disruption. Perhaps flexibility is the missing element," Alex smiled. "Sometimes small changes have bigger benefits than rigid control. That's how humans manage complex systems on Earth." Virel nodded, clearly impressed. "Very well. Let us proceed carefully." Together they moved the plants using Zarathian energy manipulation techniques. Streams redirected themselves. Flowers shifted towards sunlight, and small animals found new shelters. Slowly, the area began to thrive. Alex could see the scholars around him taking notes, curiosity replacing skepticism. Over the next week, Alex and the Zarathians tackled other challenges. Some areas had energy imbalances that caused plants to grow weak and fragile. Others had small zones where water pooled excessively, threatening entire habitats. Alex introduced methods humans used on Earth: modular adjustments, iterative testing, and observation before making changes. At first, the Zerathians were hesitant. "Your methods are unorthodox," Virel remarked one afternoon. "We typically rely on precise patterns and calculations. You rely on intuition and experimentation." "That's right," Alex said. "Humans often learn through trial and error. But we do it carefully. We watch, adjust, and improve. It works well in unpredictable systems like your ecosystems here." Gradually, the aliens began to see the value of his approach. They started experimenting themselves, allowing small changes and observing outcomes. Alex guided them, explaining the reasoning behind each adjustment. His simple explanations, grounded in logic and observation, made the concepts easy to understand. Meanwhile, Alex also had to navigate cultural differences. Zerathians were cautious, precise, and deeply respectful of tradition. Humans, by contrast, were bold, experimental, and often irreverent in their curiosity. Misunderstandings occurred. Sometimes a Zerathian would misinterpret a human gesture, or Alex would misread a subtle alien signal. But humor and patience helped. Alex learned to smile at mistakes, showing that humans could adapt and learn, not just push recklessly forward. One evening, as the twin suns dipped low, leavinr summoned Alex to the central chamber. Her glowing eyes examined him carefully. "You have been working with my scientists," she said, "and I see progress. Yet you must understand, human, that cooperation is more than efficiency. It requires trust, respect, and patience. Do you possess these qualities?" Alex nodded. "I believe humans do. We are not perfect, but we can learn and adapt. That is how we survive and thrive." leavinr regarded him silently. Then she spoke, her tone softening slightly. "Perhaps your species is capable of more than I imagined. You have demonstrated ingenuity and courage. But the greatest test has yet to come." Alex tilted his head. "What test is that, Your Majesty?" leavinr's eyes glowed brighter. "Zerathia faces threats beyond mere ecological balance. Forces beyond our planet, storms, energy fluctuations, even the unpredictable behavior of the twin suns, can endanger life here. Your presence may be needed for more than observation. You may help us face a challenge that we cannot handle alone." Alex felt a thrill of anticipation. Humans were often underestimated because they were smaller, weaker, or technologically less advanced. Yet time and again, humans had shown resilience, creativity, and courage. He had a sense that this challenge would allow him to demonstrate that once more. The following days brought signs of an approaching storm, a solar surge from one of Zerathia's suns. The energy waves were subtle at first, detected only by advanced sensors, but soon they began to affect the planet. Plants shivered in place, streams began to rise and fall unpredictably, and the normally calm energy flows of the domes flickered erratically. leavinr called an emergency meeting of the council and invited Alex to speak. "Human," she said, "the solar surge will reach Zerathia in 2 cycles. Our energy grids are stable, but the disruption may threaten life. What do you propose?" Alex studied the projections on the glowing screens. He could see the danger clearly. "We need a combination of stabilization and flexibility," he said. "Your energy fields are strong but rigid. If we integrate small, adaptive systems, modular reinforcements that respond automatically to changes, we can protect both the ecosystems and the cities." Virel raised an eyebrow. "Adaptive systems? Your idea is unconventional, yet perhaps it is necessary." Alex worked tirelessly with the Zerathians, designing energy shields that could adjust to the surge in real time. He combined human engineering principles with Zerathian energy manipulation, creating a system neither species could have developed alone. The day of the solar surge arrived. Waves of energy rippled through the atmosphere, threatening to destabilize everything. Alex and the Zerathians activated the adaptive shields. Streams of energy pulsed and shifted dynamically, counteracting the surge. Plants swayed but did not break, structures trembled but remained intact, and creatures moved freely without harm. leavinr observed from the central chamber. Her expression was unreadable at first, then slowly, a hint of admiration appeared. "Human," she said, her voice quiet but powerful, "you have exceeded expectations. Your species has a gift for turning unpredictability into strength. Alex smiled, exhausted but satisfied. We humans learn by observing, adapting, and working together. I think Zerathia has the same potential. After the storm passed, the planet was intact. In some ways, it was stronger than before. The ecosystems had adapted, energy flows had optimized, and both human and alien ingenuity had been tested and proven effective. The Zerathian Council, once skeptical, now looked at Alex with respect and curiosity. You have done more than survive, human, leavinr said. You have demonstrated that cooperation between our species can bring growth and strength. Perhaps your unpredictability is not a weakness, but a gift. Alex felt a surge of pride. He had not fought with weapons or forced submission. Instead, he had relied on human creativity, courage, and cooperation. The lesson was clear. Humans could thrive even in worlds far beyond their own, not through domination but through understanding, innovation, and collaboration. Over the next few cycles, Alex continued his work with the Zerathians, refining energy flows, stabilizing ecosystems, and helping the alien civilization adapt to unpredictable events. Trust grew slowly, but it grew. Where once the aliens saw humans as chaotic and dangerous, they now saw them as partners, curious, inventive, and resilient. Captain Alex Rayner had grown accustomed to the rhythm of life on Zerathia. Each day brought new discoveries, and each day he worked side by side with the Zerathian scholars and scientists. Yet a sense of unease had settled over the planet. Sensors detected unusual fluctuations in the twin suns' energy outputs. Streams that had been stable for centuries began to pulse unpredictably. Even the bioluminescent flora showed signs of stress. One morning, Alex was reviewing energy patterns in the central laboratory when Varel approached him. "Captain," she said, her voice carrying a rare hint of concern, "our analysis indicates an approaching solar storm far stronger than any we have recorded. It will reach Zerathia in 2 cycles. If unmitigated, it could disrupt entire ecosystems and some of our structures may collapse." Alex frowned, analyzing the projections. 2 cycles. That's not much time. Your energy shields handled minor surges, but this is different. We'll need a combination of stabilization and adaptive protection, something faster, more flexible. Varel nodded. "We can assist, but our methods are rigid. We have never faced a disruption of this magnitude. Your unconventional approaches may be our only hope." Alex felt a familiar surge of determination. Humans had faced impossible odds countless times, on Earth, on distant colonies, and in uncharted space. This would be no different. "Then let's get to work," he said, rolling up his sleeves. The next hours were a whirlwind of planning, testing, and improvisation. Alex worked with the Zerathians to design dynamic energy shields, combining their precise energy manipulation with human concepts of modular engineering. Each module could react independently, redirecting energy surges, reinforcing weak points, and stabilizing structures in real time. "Captain," Varel said as they adjusted the final module, "this system is unlike anything we've seen. It is unpredictable." "That's the point," Alex replied. "It adapts. It doesn't rely on a fixed pattern. The storm is unpredictable, so our response must be too." leavinr entered the laboratory, her presence commanding immediate attention. "Alex Rayner," she said, "I have observed your methods. Bold, unusual, but effective. The storm approaches. You will lead this effort. The survival of Zerathia rests on your ingenuity and cooperation with our scholars." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. "We won't fail, Your Majesty. I promise." As the first wave of solar energy reached the planet, alarms blared throughout the palace. Streams surged unpredictably, plants swayed violently, and the normally calm air vibrated with energy. Alex and the Zerathians activated the shields. Immediately, energy modules flared to life, pulsing in synchronization with the storm. Some shifted to reinforce weak zones in the ecosystem, while others stabilized structures and redirected excess energy into controlled channels. Alex moved from station to station, adjusting parameters, monitoring sensors, and communicating instructions to the scholars. "Module 6 is overloading," Varel shouted. "I'm rerouting energy through Module 8, Alex responded. "It will balance the surge. Keep monitoring the outer domes." The storm intensified. Bright streams of solar energy struck the planet's surface, threatening to destabilize everything. But Alex's adaptive shield system held. It flexed, shifted, and absorbed the energy in a way the Zarathian's rigid systems never could. Lithra watched from above, her glowing eyes wide. "Incredible," she whispered. "The human mind, it sees what we cannot. It turns danger into opportunity." Hours passed in tense coordination. The twin suns' energy waves crashed over Zarathia, yet every time a structure trembled, a shield module reinforced it. Every time a stream threatened to flood the biome, the system redirected it safely. Alex's calm commands and quick decisions kept the team focused. At one point, a section of the energy grid in the central dome threatened to collapse. Alex sprinted to the control station, analyzing the failing modules. "We need to redistribute the energy evenly," he shouted. "Divert half to the northern nodes and stabilize the core." Varel and the other scholars moved quickly under his guidance, following instructions they had never considered before. The modules pulsed, energy flowed smoothly, and the dome stabilized. Alex exhaled sharply, his pulse racing, but relief followed as the system held. Outside, the planet endured the storm. Forests bent without breaking, rivers swirled safely, and creatures sheltered without harm. The ecosystems Alex had helped design adapted dynamically, surviving a force that could have devastated them completely. As the storm began to fade, a silence settled over Zarathia. Alex stood in the central chamber, exhausted but exhilarated. He had faced a cosmic threat far beyond anything humans or Zarathians had encountered, and together, they had survived. Lithra approached, her glowing scales reflecting the light of the twin suns. "Alex Raynor," she said, her voice carrying both authority and awe. "You have done what no Zarathian could do alone. Your species possesses qualities we have underestimated. Ingenuity, courage, adaptability. These are strengths we must honor." Alex bowed respectfully. "Thank you, Your Majesty. But this was not just me. We did it together, humans and Zarathians. Cooperation is our strength." Lithra nodded slowly. "Yes, I see that now. You have not only survived, but you have improved our methods, strengthened our ecosystems, and shown us new ways to adapt. This is what your people can offer, and perhaps this is only the beginning." The Zarathian council, who had watched in tense silence, now murmured among themselves with approval. The skepticism that had once dominated their thoughts toward humans was replaced with respect. Alex could see it in their eyes: curiosity, admiration, and a willingness to learn. One of the scholars, Arion, stepped forward. "Captain Raynor, your methods have been revolutionary. Not just effective, but inspiring. You have demonstrated that the human mind, though young in the galaxy, is capable of greatness." Alex smiled, though fatigue tugged at his shoulders. "Thank you, Arion. Humans have always believed that even small minds can solve big problems if they are clever and work together. That is what we do best." Lithra placed a hand on her chest, a gesture of recognition. "You have changed Zarathia, human. Not through force, but through thought, courage, and creativity. You have earned the respect of my people, and perhaps one day, you will show the galaxy that humans can thrive not by destroying, but by cooperating and adapting." Alex felt a sense of pride unlike any he had ever known. This was what humanity had always sought: a chance to prove that even in worlds far beyond their own, humans could rise to challenges and leave a positive mark. The twin suns dipped behind the horizon, casting long, shimmering shadows across the planet. The storm had passed, but its lessons remained. Systems had been tested, cooperation had been forged, and both species had learned from each other. Alex knew the journey was far from over, but Zarathia had survived, and in doing so, humans had proven that ingenuity, adaptability, and courage could overcome even the greatest of cosmic threats. In the quiet that followed, Alex walked through the palace gardens. The streams flowed calmly, the plants glowed softly, and the creatures of Zarathia moved freely. Life had returned to its natural rhythm, but now it carried a new strength, a subtle influence of human thought and ingenuity. He paused at a crystal-clear stream, watching the water reflect the fading suns. He thought of Earth, of his crew, of humanity's journey across the stars. Humans were not the strongest or the fastest, but they were clever, resilient, and capable of incredible cooperation. And if they could survive here, on a world as alien and challenging as Zarathia, then perhaps there was no limit to what they could achieve. Lithra appeared beside him, her glowing eyes fixed on the horizon. "You have done well, human. You have turned unpredictability into strength. and danger into opportunity. I see now that your species is not to be underestimated. Alex nodded humbly. Thank you, Your Majesty. I only did what humans have always done: face challenges, learn quickly, and work together. She smiled faintly, a gesture that carried both respect and approval. Then perhaps this is only the beginning, Captain Raynor. Perhaps in time, humans will show us not just what they can do, but what the galaxy can become when your ingenuity joins with ours. Alex felt a quiet determination settle in his chest. The storm had tested them, but it had also forged a bond. Humans had proven themselves capable on a world far from home, and in that bond, a new chapter began. One where humans and Zorathians could learn from each other, grow together, and face whatever challenges the galaxy might send next. For the first time, Alex allowed himself a small smile. Humanity had faced the storm, and had not only survived but flourished. The days following the great solar storm passed in a calm rhythm. Zorathia's ecosystems had not only survived but had become stronger, a harmonious blend of alien design and human ingenuity. Captain Alex Raynor moved through the palace with a quiet satisfaction. He had learned much about Zorathia's people, their technology, and their ways, and they had learned much from him. Despite the success, Alex knew that the most important moment had yet to come. The moment when Queen leavinr would decide what humans, and specifically he, meant to her world. He was summoned to the central chamber, the vast space glowing with the light of the twin suns. leavinr stood at the center, her towering form shimmering. The Zorathian Council had gathered, each member's bioluminescent patterns pulsing gently. Alex took a deep breath and stepped forward, feeling the weight of their collective gaze. Captain Raynor, leavinr began, her voice calm yet commanding. You have changed Zorathia, not through aggression, not through dominance, but through thought, creativity, and cooperation. You have faced challenges that even my species feared, and you have done so with courage and wisdom. Tell me, human, what drives your kind to such acts? Alex paused, choosing his words carefully. Your Majesty, humans are curious. We face challenges because we want to understand, to learn, and to grow. We are not always the strongest or the fastest, but we adapt. We solve problems by thinking, experimenting, and working together. That is who we are. That is why we do what we do. leavinr studied him in silence, then spoke slowly as if weighing each word. Humans, and you have proven yourselves capable of greatness. Your species has a potential that many civilizations in the galaxy overlook. You do not rely solely on strength or control. You rely on creativity, on adaptability, and on cooperation. These are qualities that can shape worlds. Alex felt a surge of pride but remained humble. We are far from perfect, Your Majesty. But when we work together, humans can achieve remarkable things. I hope that my time here has shown that even the smallest, seemingly fragile species can make a positive difference. The Queen nodded. Indeed, Captain Raynor, not only have you preserved our world through the solar storm, but you have taught us new ways of thinking, new methods of adaptation, and new ways to cooperate. You have left an imprint on Zorathia that will endure. Alex glanced around the chamber. He could see the expressions of the council members change, skepticism giving way to admiration, curiosity transforming into respect. For the first time, he felt that humans were seen not as unpredictable intruders, but as allies, as partners capable of contributing to a civilization far older and wiser than their own. leavinr continued, You will return to your people with our recognition and respect. Humans have earned a place among those who explore and protect the galaxy, not through conquest but through ingenuity and wisdom. I will authorize your departure, and you may carry our knowledge back to Earth. But know this. Humans have potential beyond your comprehension. The galaxy will watch your species closely, and I believe you will rise to meet the challenge. Alex bowed deeply. Thank you, Your Majesty. I will honor your trust, and I will share the lessons of cooperation and courage with humanity. Zorathia has taught me much, and I will never forget it. The Queen's glowing eyes softened slightly. Then go, human. And remember, strength is not only in power, but in intelligence, creativity, and the ability to work with others. Your species has shown this today, and I expect nothing less in the days to come. With her words, Alex felt a wave of accomplishment wash over him. Humans had survived, humans had adapted, and humans had thrived in a world far beyond their own. He realized that this was the essence of humanity, the ability to confront the unknown with courage, to innovate and to build bridges between worlds. As preparations for departure began, Alex walked through the palace gardens one last time. Streams flowed smoothly, plants glowed softly, and the creatures of Zerathia moved freely, unaffected by the solar storm that had once threatened them. He felt a deep connection to this world, a bond forged through cooperation, respect, and shared achievement. Virel approached him, her translucent skin shimmering in the twin sun's light. "Captain Raynor," she said, "your presence here has changed us. You have taught us to embrace flexibility, to see the value in unpredictability, and to cooperate beyond what we imagined possible." "Zerathia owes you much," Alex smiled. "I owe much to all of you as well. Humans have learned as much as we have taught. This experience will stay with us forever." Even the other scholars and technicians expressed admiration. They had once viewed humans as chaotic, reckless, and untrustworthy. Now they saw them as capable allies, clever problem solvers, and beings of courage and creativity. Alex felt a warmth in his chest. Humanity had finally earned recognition on a world far from home, and they had done so without violence, without dominance, only through intelligence and cooperation. The day of departure arrived. The intrepid Voyager stood ready at the landing plateau. Alex's crew prepared the ship, reviewing protocols and ensuring all systems were operational. As he boarded, he glanced back at the palace. Lithra and the council stood at the edge of the garden, observing the human crew with expressions of quiet approval. Lithra spoke once more. "Captain Raynor, remember what you have learned here. Humans have potential that extends beyond your own understanding. Protect it, nurture it, and continue to explore. The galaxy awaits your kind, and I believe you will rise to every challenge." Alex nodded. "We will, Your Majesty. And we will never forget Zerathia." The ship's engines hummed to life, lifting gently from the plateau. The twin suns reflected off the hull, casting long shimmering rays across the land. Alex felt a sense of accomplishment and pride, not just for himself but for all of humanity. Humans had arrived on Zerathia as strangers, uncertain and fragile, yet they had left as allies, innovators, and protectors. As the intrepid Voyager rose into the sky, Alex watched the planet shrink beneath them. He thought of the solar storm they had survived, the systems they had stabilized, and the knowledge they had gained. Humanity had proven that they could thrive even in worlds far beyond their own. They could adapt, innovate, and cooperate with beings far older and wiser than themselves. Mira, his second-in-command, tapped him on the shoulder. "Captain, we're clear for warp," she said. Alex smiled, his gaze still fixed on Zerathia. "Engage," he said. The ship accelerated, leaving the planet behind, but not the lessons they had learned there. Humans had left a mark, not through destruction, but through wisdom, courage, and ingenuity. As stars streaked past the viewport, Alex allowed himself a moment of reflection. Humanity had always sought to explore the unknown. They had faced countless challenges, yet they had always risen to meet them. Zerathia had been another test, and humanity had passed, not through force, but through cleverness, adaptability, and cooperation. He looked at his crew, each one sharing the quiet satisfaction of accomplishment. "We've done something important," he said softly. "We've shown the galaxy that humans can thrive not as conquerors, but as creators, problem solvers, and partners. That's who we are." The crew nodded, feeling the weight of the achievement. They had survived the unknown, worked alongside a civilization far older and wiser than themselves, and left a lasting positive impact. Humans had flourished, and in doing so, they had proven that even a small species could rise to greatness. Finally, Alex turned his gaze forward, toward the endless expanse of space. Humanity's journey was just beginning. Worlds beyond counting awaited, challenges beyond measure, and opportunities beyond imagination. And wherever they went, humans would carry the lessons of Zerathia, the value of creativity, the strength in cooperation, and the power of resilience. As the intrepid Voyager vanished into the stars, Captain Alex Raynor allowed himself a quiet smile. Humanity had survived the test of Zerathia. Humanity had thrived. And humanity would continue to rise wherever the galaxy led them next. For the first time in centuries, humans were not only explorers, they were a species capable of shaping the future, leaving a positive mark on every world they touched.